All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We are continuing our Classic Plus revamp, what we want in the show. As you can see on screen, in part one, we covered graphics and aesthetics, experience and leveling, character customization and abilities. And now we're moving on to content and world expansion. You can see here in Figma that I can draw on the screen. It's amazing.
Figma.
If you're listening in, we'll try to talk as much as we can to cover the points. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it on screen. You can also comment down below to let us know what you think. What do you want changes wise, and what do you like to see? So, content and world expansions, releasing of new raids, Karazhan Crypts, Dragon Isles, Vanilla Outland, Scarlet Crusade raids. What do you think? New raids?
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously why do not? Classic Plus if you're not going to do new raids?
We want more content.
Okay,
I mean, that's just it's a win.
Yeah, we don't really need to discuss it too much, but it's just yes, this is the whole reason.
Karazhan for Classic, it was meant to be in Classic.
Exactly, it was meant to be in Classic. BRD was meant to be a raid, like all this bullshit.
Oh my god!
Introduce
BRD raid would be cool.
Introduce new zones, including starter zones and dungeons. Yeah.
Starters. Okay, I'm really curious what you guys think about the starter zones specifically.
Okay, so
for each race, make it
right. So to let you know, gnomes and trolls were a late game addition in Classic, and they did not have enough time to develop their starter zones. They were going to, they just did not have enough time. So
that's right.
If I could get everything I wanted, if I could have my cake and eat it too, there should be starter zones for trolls and gnomes.
Yeah, gnomes just want more gnomes around. Let's be real.
If gnomes get a starter zone, we'll take over the world.
Yeah.
Just like Lalafells in FF14,
one small
we'll take
step
over the world
at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but you think
a lot of small steps.
If you really wanted to go down the rabbit hole, they could have their own like starter zone, their own little town, city kind of thing, a whole new place to explore, a whole new leveling experience. I mean, like if you level up a dwarf, you do Dun Moreau and all that bullshit, and then it was fun. Let's do it again. I'm gonna try gnome this time. It's the exact same experience.
Right. Yeah.
It's there's nothing more.
Leads you not want to do that.
Yeah, why am I doing this? You know, I already did all these quests. I want to do something else. So personally, if I could have anything I wanted, I would totally add that shit in. What do you think? Just go all in, do a whole new zone.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Yes. For those two races specifically,
gnome's gonna be the only one. Gnome and what else?
Troll. Gnome and troll. Yeah, I agree. Anything they don't need to redo all the other starter zones. Just those two specifically.
Yes. I didn't think on the horde side. Yep, agreed.
Yep. They needed to add more bundles of logs to pick up for.
Oh God, true.
Okay, so yes to this. Expand game world to complete areas like Mount Hyjal, Southern Tanaris, and Stormwind Prison, stuff like that. Finish the content. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, just all these weird places in the world. That,
there's if you
it's just big
go down
space.
Yeah, go down the rabbit hole of unfinished content in Classic. There's shit tons, like tons of content that is just unfinished. Like Iron Forge is going to be completely different. There's like an underground Iron Forge that you have to like clip through to see. There's the airfield at Iron Forge. There's the stuff in Winter Spring that like were going to be dungeon entrances. There's caves that were going to lead to new zones that they blocked off with rocks because they were, you know how like caves look in the game, like it's clearly a cave. Those entrances exist, but like they're just blocked off. There's one in there's one that's randomly placed in Thorium Point. Is that the one? Where's it at?
Over by TP?
Yeah, over by TP. Yeah. There's one over here.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
It's random. It's just there. It's completely blocked off. There's one in Searing Gorge. There's tons of stuff. And there's also tons of places on the map you just can't click. It's like to the right of wetlands, there's a whole zone there that you just can't even click into.
Oh yeah, you're talking about south of Silverpine Forest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like SFK and stuff's that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I was speculating to the right of Loch Madan on the map. That's where the gnome starter zone was going to be. Next to the Forbidden Sea.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
And then
well, except for Nomergon, that's kind of weird because wasn't Nomergon like that's where the gnomes were technically supposed to start out at?
I don't know
if they would have had more time and that's why we fought a bunch of like
there was like gnomes and stuff.
Yeah, we'll just turn it in dungeon instead. Yeah.
So obviously, we're lazy. Tons of content. Rolling out new loot systems. What do you think? We've talked about this before already about adding loot, like heroic loot and stuff like that. But should we be able to see more loot in the game that is interesting and useful, or just like more bullshit?
Oh,
I think there's a lot of loot out there that is just it's trash. Make it a little more class specific. It really sucks to go through a dungeon, for example, and you're getting shaman gear like through BRD. You're just getting shaman gear.
Yep.
It sucks. Why is this dropping for me? Make it a little more viable for other classes.
I mean, if you
you're specifically talking about BRD doing it on Alliance.
Well, I mean, but there's other. Yeah, I mean,
and then vice versa for the Horde, where they get Paladin gear. It's
exactly.
like what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although
fix that.
Shao, if you had shaman gear would make sense. I'm just saying.
True. If we're getting into that, yeah, sure. But
we're
not at that point.
Yeah, no. I'm not really.
I think that's a win.
I'm not really sure what that point is specifically targeting, as far as like what kind of new loot systems are you thinking that means?
I'm kind of
because like if they're talking about like extra options to open up loot, like instead of having just master loot, or we could have something else. I don't know if we really need that, but if it's talking about like being able to get loot in raids where instead of a specific item you're getting like an insignia or something that you can turn in for like role specific tier pieces, I would love that kind of idea.
Oh, that's what we're talking.
Which would help towards the rebalancing of like Shadow Priests and stuff, where maybe they get a lot more MP5 or Moonkin. Their tier piece specifically would be a lot of MP5 or something. I think that would be a really cool idea. But other than that, in my opinion, I don't think they really need to change the loot system, other than maybe adding an extra piece of gear drop from
potentially
boss
give
or something.
More people a chance to get Thunder Fury.
Yes, especially since you have 40. well, maybe
like what we did in Nax, where you get the splinters or whatever. I think that was a great system.
So I'm gonna throw a bunch at you real fast. So to make specs viable, what they did in later expansions, like TBC, is like you can get 3 different versions of the loot to pick for your spec. Like you would get like the tier piece, and
you get a token, and you pick what you.
Yeah, and that's, you just need it if you're going to play these different specs. Now, however they decide to do it is whatever. But like, unfortunately, tier 1 is only healing gear for a paladin. There's no other option.
Yeah, that's why you have to be.
Yeah, and like
the whole time
there needs to be like, if you want to play a feral druid, like you can't be getting a weapon from Nomergon to raid with. You just can't. Like,
I don't know. I like that idea for feral. I thought that
was really cool.
Yeah, I actually don't
keep farming that weapon.
I think they should increase the charges on that, but
no,
I think they should double the charges. Make it 3, make it 6 or something. But
you should not be. Dumb. You should not be getting a level. What is that? A level 29 dungeon for in-game loot. It's just no. It just
that's ridiculous.
That's unfair to the class.
I think it's cool. Me specifically, I'm totally.
I mean, it's interesting.
Opposite.
Don't get me wrong. It's interesting.
Pre-bis,
when other classes have ease to gear, and now
it's part of their class. It's part of their class identity. I actually really now, to be fair, I've never played feral, so maybe there's feral druids that'll listen.
Part
to
of their class identity, they have to keep having to go back to Nomergon to farm this bullshit weapon that gives you 3 charges.
All I'm saying is double the charges and it'd be golden. That's all I'm saying.
No, so
I think it'd be cool.
So what happens in Turtle WoW, which is like the community classic plus, they just created a new weapon that is similar to it, that is rechargeable, that recharges itself, and it's an epic version of the Crowd Pummeler. It makes feral viable in raids because they can get it once.
Easy.
Yeah, I'd like something like that for sure.
But
like
I mean,
they'd have to keep that item the whole time though.
Right. And they can recharge it with like batteries or something. I don't know. It was something like that, but they don't have to farm Nomergon, basically. Which I think.
Do you know how they get the batteries to recharge it? Do they have to go farm like heroics or something?
That's a fix for a much bigger problem.
It might have been. It might be a gold sink. I don't know. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it's an epic version of the item. It has better stats too.
I think that's a perfect happy medium, because I like the idea of keeping stuff in the game like that that's just kind of like janky and wonky, but giving them a solution instead where they don't have to go grind Nomergon. Right. Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I like that. I mean, like you can't, you have to do it if you want to be viable. You have to do that.
Yeah, it's janky and wonky, but that's the problem. Janky and like to play prop paladin, you had to be janky and wonky to
right, and
play any of these other
classic
specs.
WoW.
You had to be janky and wonky, but that's vanilla. And then overall, it's a shitty experience for that specific player that wants to play that class, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is so stupid. Don't even play it." You know,
and before people say, "Oh, just
it's
just respec, it's easy."
Exactly. And
Yep.
I would even go down the route of how they did it in like Wrath and stuff, where like over time you can earn the tokens from raid to buy the loot that you want.
Yep. You get the badges or whatever
Because I
buy
just
like not equivalent gear.
I
But
think there is a level of goodness when it comes to RNG getting loot and raids, but I don't think that you should have to do BWL 50 times to get a bow. I don't think so.
yeah, and I think it gets rid of like the loot drama as well to an extent.
Yeah, I know. I
Because
think
they'll still
that,
have they're still working to something in that raid. Like they're eventually going to get it,
yeah. And
whether someone got it before them.
Imagine every boss that you killed in Molten Core dropped some like
A badge,
or,
call it a badge.
lava spawns or lava badges or whatever they're called, because it's like fire themed. And to get the Perdition's blade, it costs 150 lava badges, which means you would have had to kill a boss in Molten Core 150 times. Now, or maybe less, maybe 100 or 75 or whatever the number is. So it's not easy to do it this way. Yeah. It's not easy to do it this way, but you will eventually get your item. So you don't have to rely on a guild giving it to you through DKP or rely on GDKPs and just dropping tons of gold to get this weapon. You can just eventually get it just by killing the bosses. You know, I think that's a good thing because it would mitigate all the other like systems that.
Well, you'd have a little bit less loot drama,
right?
With that, exactly, because you knew eventually everybody, if you raided long enough, and I would say it should be something significant, like where you don't get it. Everyone is not fully decked out in 2 months. Like it would take a long time.
Right. I think you should even be able personally to buy a binding, but it would be like a shit ton of a cost. Maybe like 500 of those things, which is you have to kill 500 bosses. There's only 10 bosses in the whole thing. You'd have to rate it.
So yeah, it's kind of like you're adding a pity system to the game.
That's
as far as like loot.
That's a year of rating, by the way, to get one binding.
At least you can get it.
I
still like the.
But you're guaranteed to get it.
Splinter. That was the best way to do it.
Yeah, and maybe
each boss drop like a thing. You got to collect 40 or whatever. And
right, and maybe the same thing. If you earn. Yeah, but if maybe the same thing, you earn enough like Nax tokens or whatever, you can buy a splinter. Like 40 Nax tokens buys you one splinter. And how many bosses are in Nax?
I like that.
You know, there's what 1, 2.
Yeah, I mean they'd have to balance that stuff out, but yeah, no, I think it'd be. I think I like the idea of having something, some kind of system like that.
Right, but so for an example is like I got Corehound Tooth out of Molten Core on my Horde Rogue. And I got it in a GDKP, and I spent 20K or 10K. It was 10K. I spent 10K.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was like 20K. I was like, wow.
I spent 10,000 gold on it, but I had to get it because it was a GDKP. Like it's either I buy it or I don't. You know, and I'm not getting it through RNG. Like I get to roll it off, and I'm not a part of a guild because I can't consistently raid, so I'm not a part of a guild. So my really only option is a GDKP because that's really the only type of raids right now that are clearing the instance. If you go to a random pug, you're gonna have a shitty time. Like you're not gonna clear the instance.
Potentially, yeah.
The only thing I get nervous about doing something like that, now that you mentioned like not being in a guild and not being able to raid, the thing that makes me nervous is if you join like a semi-casual guild or a dad guild that can't, like, let's say that it clears 9 out of 10 bosses every single week for like a month. That's 4 bosses that you didn't kill over a month time. That's going to make people already kind of upset because they're not getting their loot, but it's going to make it even worse because now they're 4 tokens behind everybody else. You know, it's like it makes me a little nervous now that I think about it a little bit more, doing a system like that just specifically for the more casual guilds, because then everyone's just going to want to be like, well, I want to get carried. So then they're going to be more likely to pay for, you know, like a boost or something to or like a hard carry or something to do, you know, either GDKPs or whatever, so they make sure that they clear every single boss every single week. And I feel like it could hurt the guild.
GDKPs will be around.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely.
No matter what system is implemented.
Yeah, I know. I could just see it hurting the guild dynamic in the long run, having something like that, but I don't know if that's more of a community problem at that point than like a guild problem.
I think honestly, like having a token system solves more problems than it causes, because frankly, the guild drama we have had over loot is just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And being able to mitigate some of that drama with like, hey, I know I'm like third in line for Mage Blade. If you're doing Loot Council, I'm third in line for Mage Blade, but hey, I might get it sooner because I have enough tokens. I'm not as worried about it,
Yeah.
And then like, that would mitigate people saving up all their DKP for a single item, and like, like all that different stuff.
DKP.
And then
Nightmare.
also sometimes RNG is just not in a player's favor, and it really burns them out. They just don't get, like, how many times did we run MC and just like, Angry never got Thunder Fury because of RNG,
Yep.
2 years straight.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
You're there every week.
Yeah, and he never got it. So I think it would just solve more problems than it causes. And it'd be good. It's something to look forward to. You can guarantee to get your stuff. Personally, I think it just helps a ton. Now, moving on to the next thing. So new loot systems, yeah. And on some level, we need something. Add challenging dungeons like the ATS fight and strat. More more content like the Brewfest, more content, stuff like that. What do you think?
Oh, I agree with the seasonal thing. I think that'd be really cool to have more just like random like seasonal stuff to keep people interested in like coming back and trying something new. Maybe trying to get like trying to get that pumpkin sword in TBC was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that stuff is great. I think it's just a ton of fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Working together to get like the Brewfest mount. I finally had like a Tauren mount. It was so cool. Like,
oh yeah, the Kodo. Yeah,
Kodo mount was so cool to have. And like, we literally hyped up the game, cycling people in and out, like trying to get that mount. And a bunch of us ended up getting it, which is pretty cool. What do you think, Xiao?
Oh, definitely. Why not? I mean, again, it's just going to add more interaction. Something to do once in a while. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know really what more to say about it. I think you're either going to think it's a cool idea or you're just going to say no.
Just keep it. It's a W.
I think it's an okay one. I'd be okay with it.
There's no reason not to have it.
Yeah.
More content, more things to do, more fun.
So rare spawn events, more rare spawn events in the world, more title charms,
Ooh,
like soloable. Rare spawns, or like you have to get like a 5-man group question.
That was just
a lot of rare spawns, but
yeah, I think group rare spawns would be a cool idea. Why not? Like, I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Have the rare spawns be elite, like the new ones would be elite, so you can't necessarily just raffle it at the same level, because like the rare spawns they're just rare, but you kill them. It's easy. There's no challenge.
Maybe have like a side quest or quest chain leading up to it as well. And oh shit, the rare spawn appeared. I can finish this quest or whatever. Be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. Why not?
It doesn't add more stuff in the world. I agree, 100%.
That adds more. It kind of adds to the adding new loot into the game. Everything, like, I think it'd be dope. Why not?
And more opportunities to do world PvP. Let's be honest.
It doesn't take away anything from the game.
Good thought.
Introducing more jump puzzles for added fun, expanding to new zones. We already talked about new zones. That's a yes. Jumping puzzles. What is jumping puzzles? Can somebody answer that?
Oh, the auction house jump.
Oh yeah, it's like getting like underneath Stormwind, getting into Caverns of Time.
Like
during Classic Era. There's like getting the auction house. Yeah, like you said, the auction house in Stormwind. Right, where you jump up on the chandeliers and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Not intended.
Is it not intended? I mean, like,
no, that's definitely not.
It was
intended,
not.
No.
There's no way that was intended. Absolutely not.
No.
But I think it'd be really cool. Like, kind of like, I hate to bring it up, but like Counter-Strike jump maps and stuff. It'd be interesting. Just to be able to like pop in there, like, okay, we got to jump.
They could specifically,
and whatnot.
Design
cool thought,
like in the areas, just like almost like Easter egg jumps where you can actually get something you're not supposed to, but they actually planned for you to do it. I could see that. That'd be kind of neat.
It'd be kind of cool if they peppered in, like you said, Easter egg, like they peppered in like a hidden mob you're not supposed to see or something, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, adventure, you found me," and have just a little dialogue thing where they just talk to you for like a brief 2 or 3 sentences, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. Like this was actually meant to be in the game. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then moving
certain zones where they sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like certain zones, like for example, you're saying like Easter egg. There's a mob at the end or something like that might drop some weird like random cool item, which everyone has to like do the mechanic or do the jump to get there. I think that'd be interesting.
Think about
obviously you can't summon there.
Think about a red Defias mask that you could equip on any class if you did this specific jump puzzle.
Right. I think that'd be interesting. Something
to
do
armor,
to accomplish.
It does nothing, but it'd be cool to just run around and raid while you're waiting for a boss pull. Just be like, hey guys, I got the red Defias mask today on my mage or something. It'd be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
just some small cosmetic thing. That's not like a toy. I don't want them to introduce toys.
Yeah. And then moving on to quality of life improvements. I'm gonna kind of breeze over these because these can just
they're really quick. Yeah, rapid fire.
So like introduce guild banks, hell yes.
Win.
Easy.
Oh
why not?
It's huge. It's you're a guild.
Stupid why they don't have it.
I mean, I would even introduce like a system for guild taxes. We could talk, that's a whole nother thing, but implement a mount and pet tab similar to retail. Yes, 100%. Bag space is such a huge issue in Classic. There's just bags are tiny. And every pet you have takes up a damn bag slot. I'm not throwing that cockroach away though. I like it.
Roaching out, boys.
Exactly.
Roaching out.
I had a
They could definitely fix it up with certain. They could categorize it better, like a mount tab or an herb tab and this, that, and the other.
Functional summoning stones. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I'm lazy, so I say yes, just because I don't like to wait for a warlock.
There's something about sure, but then you have to actually have a warlock in your group. There's something about Classic WoW and actually having to fly across a continent to get to this place, take the boat, go here, and that brings a lot more interaction in the game as well. So I say no.
I'm gonna go with 2 things
just for Classic WoW purposes. All right, I mean, again, we're not talking about Classic WoW. We're talking about Plus.
I'm going to go with 2 things because specifically you said that. A, I'm a lazy person, and I always just assume that I'm the main character, so everyone just summons me. But B, that's kind of a joke, by the way, kind of keyword there. The second thing is, I say no specifically because if they do get them, then there's going to be a lot less world PvP for my rogue. So I agree.
Exactly.
Hard agreement. Don't make this functioning.
It opens the world a lot more. People have to travel. So there's more opportunity for more interaction, more PvP, everything, whatever you want to.
And warlocks can
you're lucky to have
make
a warlock.
Money. More warlocks can actually have a good.
If you're a warlock,
source
you're lucky. You have a warlock in the group. You specifically, got that warlock in there.
I just think that. Sorry, Alan, for the just to save warlocks in this situation because summoning is a big deal for raids.
Class identity,
and you need a lot of shards to summon an entire raid team. So I think that shards should stack up to 10 or something because, frankly, playing a warlock.
I think it should just get rid of shards personally.
No, shards are great. Shards are actually a good.
That's
thing.
Identity, baby.
I think intrinsically shards are good to have to use, because it makes me as the warlock go do shit. If I didn't have to ever earn shards to summon, why would I leave town? I can. But I think the problem is shards takes up a whole black slot, and you need to make cookies for people in a raid. You need to make all these different things that require shards. I think shards should just stack up to
just have like a
let's say
a warlock specific bag. Same with the hunter. Have like a specific bag.
I have a specific bag for
but
they have shard bags.
It takes but it takes up room.
Oh, you're talking about a specific slot for that class.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess so. We'd have an additional, so then we don't lose out.
So you can still have all the normal bag space that any other player would have besides a warlock and hunter.
Yeah, and I think they should
have
stack up to 9,999. That's
okay. Well, I don't know if I go that crazy.
Why not? You put the time in, you farmed it.
But then why? But then to go back to his main point of having shards in the game, if you went and did that, every warlock would do that day one when they got the thing, and then they'd never have to go out in the world. So
You still
it
spend.
would
You
just
still
delay the
spend all
inevitable
that
for no
time
reason.
to do it.
You blow through shards, dude. You blow
But
through
Yeah,
not
you still spent the time.
999,000 worth. It's like
no
holy crap,
one's
dude.
actually realistically.
Look,
Well, okay, I shouldn't say nobody.
I have 10 soul shards in my bag right now. They're taking up 10 bag slots, and like frankly, just getting you guys to Dire Mall took like 3, or 4. Just going,
Oh,
like, but it's saying like
No.
it goes.
Thanks, man.
You just need more room for them.
So since we're talking about soul shards specifically, would you be okay with forcing people to go out in the world in their respective level to get the soul shards? So like to bring up your point, there's no reason to leave town specifically for Horde or Alliance, because you can just go to Orgrimmar and go to RFC, or Alliance get stockades and you can farm your shards that way. You don't never have to leave town.
So you're saying they actually have to be.
So they would actually have to be green or higher to you for you to get a soul shard.
That is now a thing. Yes, that's how it works.
So you'd be okay with that as a change. Okay.
No, I think you can't get them off of Grays. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
You can't go into.
Can you get them off a player?
Yeah, of course.
PvP wise, like you can just
farm level 12s. Farm level 12s to get.
No, I mean, they have to be honorable.
I will say, in
like
Wrath,
level 49 or whatever.
In Wrath, you were able to get them off target dummies.
Wait, what?
That's actually insane.
It was actually
why even do that? Just give them to you for free at that point. Why?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just so stupid.
I still had to do it, and I'll be honest with you, when we were doing a lot of PvP, a lot of twinking, like twink PvP with every battleground, I was using soul shards with moves and stuff.
Yep.
So like every single time. So like it would be really hard to be queuing for battlegrounds and trying to farm soul shards in between if you're PvPing that much, because I would blow through them because I was using moves that required soul shards.
There's probably a point down later that kind of talks about stackable and stuff like that. I don't think that we're talking about that one specifically right now. I agree with the soul shards that you should get at least, stack up to like 5 or something. And then I think arrows should stack up to 1,000 like they do in TPC. There's no point.
I don't know.
There's no reason for it to be only 200.
I feel like there's no reason. You should just have like what they did in retail. They did it with the Paladin actually too. You could only have so many soul shards. Like it was like how'd they do it?
No, they use it as like a power thing, and it like you get 5.
Right, exactly. You get 5, and then once you use them all, complete them all.
Right,
but they'll gradually like build back up.
But they remove the requirement to summon and stuff from soul shard.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I was gonna say because they have to, because
like
then you're just sitting there for an
system,
hour waiting to summon the last 38 people.
Right, because they just made it PvE based. So you like earn the shard.
Gotcha.
You earn the shards. It was almost like energy, where like the shards would generate as you do moves, and you could use bigger moves. It's no different than like energy or
like combo points or whatever.
It was combo points. It's combo points. It's exactly what it is.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
In other words, it's the same thing. So I think that was kind of dumb. So, but
I thought it was interesting.
It was interesting, but I just make them stack.
You don't want to have to actually go out and farm soul shards. It's just
I don't necessarily mind it. I don't mind it as long as you can hold a lot of them. The problem is like it's really annoying to farm them over and over again because you only have 28 bag slots available for 28 soul shards, and you blow through. You can't summon a whole raid team that way,
Yeah, I don't know. There's already enough to farm the game. Just like each class shouldn't have to put themselves in the way to farm something else.
I mean, personally, if you could stack your soul shards, you could get a shit ton in a dungeon. You just be every pull.
You could do it in a raid too.
Yeah, you could just be getting them all the time.
Doing trash pulls.
Yeah, it would be getting them all the time. It'd be great. All right.
I'm pretty sure warlocks do that on trash pulls anyway, but yeah.
They do because they're making cookies, because they're constantly making cookies.
Cookies and stuff, yeah, true.
Yeah. And they're also using moves that require soul shards.
This next one is just a win.
AoE looting, yes.
Yeah, it's a win. Of course.
Just add it in.
The amount of minutes I'd save between my Mara boosts would be insane.
They actually got like add-ons where it allows you to loot faster. Just get rid of the add-on and make it AoE.
AoE loot.
It's easy.
It's convenient. Yep. It helps farmers. It helps bots. It doesn't matter. It also helps players.
Sure. Yep.
Achievement.
Are you calling me a bot?
No. Achievement. I think achievement systems are great. I think it's really cool to track.
I don't think so.
Why not? You don't think so?
Achievements.
I disagree with the final part of that. I don't like the idea of meta account rewards necessarily, but I do kind of like having an achievement system because it makes it you kind of get a little bit of bragging rights, but like I could see if it's raid related, it could be a nightmare because if it's like, oh well, if you don't have this achievement because you didn't clear Blackwing Lair before it got nerfed or something, as an example, you can't join our guild. I think they can be very toxic. But I like the idea of like if they're just kind of like more casual friendly, I think it'd be kind of cool because it's like I could go out and like go kill 100 frenzied plague hounds. I'm in Eastern Plague Lands right now. Like, do like achievements like that, I think would be cool.
I think generally
something like insanely great.
To an extent, achievements I could say yes. But I believe it was Asmund brought up the achievement system. It was like huge against it, which I kind of agree with this point that it changes the way you play the game. If there's a lot of solo achievements, it gets rid of that social aspect of the game. Playing the game, I just want to get the achievements. I'm done, right?
Fair enough.
True.
But if they were like, okay, achievements, do like this crazy quest line with buddies and get this achievement, cool. I'm okay with that.
I think if they include achievements into the game, don't have a lot. Don't have like 400. Just have like like 50 or something that are all kind of simple.
If it's like solo this quest by yourself, whatever it is, this, that, and the other. I don't know.
I disagree with any that would be of a challenge because people use that shit in retail, like achievements specifically. They go, oh well, you don't have this achievement where you killed the final boss in this raid in a specific time. We're not even looking at your gear. We don't care if you have the best gear and you're the best player on the server. If you don't have this achievement, we just don't trust you. And
maybe it should
really
be
toxic.
The achievement system should not be public. It should be private. Only you can see it.
I think it should be a very simplistic achievement system.
I agree with the simplistic. If they're going to
yourself as well, and it should just say, okay, I did Blackwing.
I walked into Blackwing Lair.
Like, why even have it? Why even have it? I don't like the system.
I mean,
we're not playing Nintendo. We're not playing PlayStation.
Nintendo does have achievements.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, I don't.
They should.
I don't miss it in playing classic. That's
kind of a joke, but
I'm not missing out on gameplay by not having it. So I don't think they need to add it in. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can agree. We just get rid of achievements. Then I don't have to worry about trying to be an achievement hunter like I normally am.
Yeah.
Which by the way, this is kind of off
wants to play the game.
Off topic. I did just get the platinum trophy in Spider-Man 2. Very good game.
It's toxic.
Nice. Congrats.
Toxic, yeah.
You can't.
True.
You have a digital trophy. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I feel pretty proud. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Let me go on your account later and confirm, actually.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Make sure you actually have it.
All right. So no achievements. Getting rid of that. Add a pre-made group finder like in retail. After further research.
This is a good one.
After further research, that was a good one. Looking it up.
Okay. So again,
later on,
I think
a late release.
I think Asmongold touched on this one. Yes, he did. So there's difference between the pre-made group finder and then the group finder like we have, for example, in Lich King, where you go in there, you post, okay, I'm doing this dungeon or whatever, which is fine. That's good. But the one that's like, I think it was the one that's just like randomly into it.
Yeah.
Was the one he was kind of against.
Just group finder. Yeah,
just a way which you can get an add-on for. I do believe we use in TBC to try and get rid of all the looking for group chat. It would pick up certain like words or whatever inside the chat and
you're talking about
highlight those. Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Yeah.
Word highlight. Okay, looking for this amount of people or this. That is great. To get rid of all that baloney that's inside,
and it organizes it into each dungeon, and you can filter out.
So hard.
Yeah,
it already happens.
It's annoying as hell, dude.
It already
try and find a group.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we already have to do it in LFG, so might as well make an add-on for it or a built-in functionality.
I think if we get looking for group kind of like retail, they need to introduce it way later. That should be like a later. Maybe they added into like the third big patch or something.
Random,
like,
are you talking about the random dungeon group finder? That one?
Something like if they're if they're gonna add something like that, it should be way later in the way later.
They give you like a little loot bag at the end. I hate it.
Yeah, that's stupid. Man. It's stupid. Yeah, I think that they should have the pre-made group finder that just assembles your group. Let's all meet at Dead Mines, and everybody travels to Dead Mines. No porting, nothing like that, unless there's a warlock that can summon you. But it helps you find a group.
Easier. Yeah, it just can. That's it.
And the next one is ensure players respawn inside the instance after wipe. We already talked about this.
Yeah, we
said
talked
yes.
about that one, of course.
Consider nerfing repair costs. I think equalizing repair costs, because a plate wear is
yeah. I mean, being a warrior and getting completely or a paladin, just get absolutely dicked, and you're like at 0 durability. That costs a fucking lot, man.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
So I think that's
not fair to the mage or the warlock or priest. Yeah.
Elevate the ceiling.
There should be a cost, but
yeah, with new content, there's new profession stuff. I think that should be a higher reach for professions.
Yeah, maybe start at 300, but then like maybe as you increase, go by like 50, so like 350, 400, 450.
We're gonna have new dungeons and stuff, plans, new everything.
And I listened to Asmund Gold's video kind of talking about this, and I agree with him that like it should be. I don't know if I necessarily agreed with it being damn near impossible to get max level in the profession, but I think that being max level in a profession or something, you should be able to make really decent gear and not just have it be kind of irrelevant. Because think about it, everyone's an engineer. No one really cares about blacksmithing at a certain point. Like there's certain professions that kind of fall off, like that people don't really care about, or like you only need a certain level of. I think if you're max level, you should be able to craft some really good gear, or like that consumes or something.
It makes it really shitty that, for example, like blacksmithing, or maybe even leatherworking or tailoring, you put all that time and effort to get that certain piece of gear, and then that's it. You got that gear, and then you go into MC or maybe BWL, whatever.
Yeah,
and then you replace it instantly, and then that profession is done.
Yeah, I think
it's like your pre-raid. It's your way to work up like your pre-raid base, and then some pieces are really good. Heart of the Wild, I think, like the back piece or whatever, doesn't get replaced for the wild. I can't remember what it's actually called.
Yeah,
it doesn't get replaced for wild, but as you progress through the raids, like you should be able to equally like progress your gear. Don't make it as good as the raid drops, but make it applicable where you're not just taking all that time and effort of leveling that profession and throwing in.
Yeah, maybe you get like a couple pieces that would be considered catch-up gear, kind of like all of ZG, something like that.
And I think
make it worth it.
I think also they actually fix a lot of this inside of TBC and Wrath, but where like professions give you benefits. So like an enchanter in TBC, you could enchant your rings. Only enchanters could enchant their own rings, which was a huge cool thing. Tailors could make
they could enchant the back piece.
There's specific, specific back piece thing. I think that was pretty really cool. Jewel craft.
I like that. I like that alchemy could proc, and they could get more potions with the same materials. Like that was really cool.
Discovery.
You could also learn. Yeah, you could discover stuff. Yeah,
like
that's
different. Yeah, different, and you could choose like different. Like engineering has goblin and what's the other
Gnomish.
one?
Yeah, goblin.
Gnomish, right? Like I think what does tailoring have in classic? What does alchemy have? Nothing. You have I do believe, right? You have it's a one-way street. I think it'd be really interesting to do the same thing as TPC, as you said, to give you an option. Whether you want go into elixirs or you want to go into potions or whatever.
Yeah, and I think
that just get a chance to proc more things. It's great.
And I think that like some items to craft in the professions are like brutal. Like there are some items that are super shitty, but like the mats are just brutal. So like an example is blacksmithing. So Heartseeker is a blue dagger. And it's just a blue dagger, 41 DPS plus 4 strength, and improves your chance to get a critical strike by 1%. It's a crap dagger. And it's 10 Arcanite bars. 10 enchanted thorium bars, 2 enchanted leather, 6 Azerothian diamonds, like large opals, dense grinding stones, and star rubies. And it's like,
why would you waste your time?
And the current server status, it's like a 4,000 gold in mats or more. Like this most garbage weapon. So they need to overhaul the entire crafting system. They need to make it worth it.
I can agree.
They need to make it worth it at all levels to be like a blacksmith, different. They just need to just revamp the shit out of it, change how things are made. Not a ton, but enough,
Make it worth it.
Right. There's so much bullshit
shitload of hours
as a blacksmith that you just have to make. That's completely. It's completely a waste of time. Like unless you're like collecting the gear, like the copper set. What is it for besides just getting through? I love how they did engineering in Wrath. That was cool as hell.
Engineering was fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I think they just need to kind of revamp and combine it into a classic version because it makes PvP more fun. It makes all these different things more fun. I think just revamping it all would really help. And you could also, like I said, elevate the ceiling higher levels as they release the new content, new patches and stuff like that. Right. Intensify the night/day system and weather mechanics.
Oh, I mean that'd be a cool feature.
I don't know what does that entail? Like
in terms of what, right? Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
Like that point, I'm not really sure. I don't like me personally. I don't care. I can tell you the weather system sucks when you're ZG boosting and you get the fog. It's absolutely.
Are we thinking like Breath of the Wild, where we're in winter's grasp or whatever, and you get like this debuff that'll slowly like take you down.
Could you imagine?
So you have like frost resistance.
Being in Westfall and it floods, and they're just filled with water.
Oh god,
exactly.
Or
interesting.
You're out PvPing in Winter Spring and like somebody's about to kill you, but they get struck by lightning and they die.
Oh my god!
They just get one shot.
Oh my god!
Yeah. You get the honorable kill.
Hardcore.
Should have clicked A faster, man.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Oh no!
You get struck by lightning and you die.
Rip bozo.
Oh my god! I don't know. That's weird, but
that's a weird one. I don't know exactly. What
I would say I'd say disagree. I'd just say disagree.
Yeah, I don't think it
without more information. I say disagree.
That kind of changes the full dynamics of the map. It completely takes it away from classic, and even retail doesn't do anything like that. More flight paths. Why not?
Yes,
sure.
Agree. Of course. We don't need 50
Alliance gets dicked on
no flying
paths,
at all.
So yes.
No flying. I hate flying.
Of course.
Yeah, I agree.
Flying ruins the game. It just ruins the game. We can go to a whole episode on why flying's bad, but in my opinion, it ruins the game.
It won't take long.
Takes you out of the game.
That episode will be a short one.
Yeah, like flying takes you out of the game. It takes you out of world PvP. You just fly over everything, and you can. It's an MMO.
Just destroys the whole
you're
world.
supposed to interact with people, not fly over them.
Exactly.
And introduce an armory. Is that a thing?
Yes. Armory in terms of
Nicky Day says hard.
Like, what are you talking about in terms of armory? Like you hover over a piece of gear and you can just swap it out. Or like, what do we mean?
What is the armory in retail? Isn't that where you can see their gear level and stuff?
I think so.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay, I'm way off then.
Yeah, so I think that's a more toxic thing than anything else, because like
armory,
you can't join our raid unless your I score is 2200 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a bad thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say get rid of it.
I was thinking more so of an armory where you'd be able to just completely switches your gear set.
That's called
What's that called?
Oh, it's an add-on. It's called Item Rack.
Hey, there you go.
Item Rack. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So
but yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that sounds terrible.
This is part 2 of what we'd want to see in Classic Plus. Now we're gonna move on to the next episode. Come back for part 3, and let us know down below what you think. Were these changes good? Would you add anything else? Would you take any things away? Let us know your comments down below. Click the playlist for more.